Corvette. We're gonna be troubleshooting this beauty here with a 5.7. It is a crank no start right now, but before it was starting and just lack of power on acceleration. We're gonna start with the basic here, spark, fuel, and we'll see how it moves along the diagnostic on this. You can see the spark is cutting out. Okay. Wait. Crank it. Crank it. Accelerate. Here the spark was cutting off, and then I will be checking here at the distributor on the pin B on the high resolution signal and the low resolution signal, which is the A, pin A. I got I got one marked brown here. It's gonna be the pin A. And we're going to compare those. One is going to be providing 36 pulses equal to 360 degrees, and the other one is going to be providing 8 pulses, one per cylinder. They got to be synchronized and consistent. Here I have one channel connected to ignition coil control coming from the computer, and on the right here I have on the pink wire to the power side of the ignition coil. That way it's going to be showing the current ramp. We'll make two channels here on pin A and pin B. As we can see, low resolution signal and high resolution signal, pin A and pin B. I will be connected way down here on the distributor, and we're gonna see those signals while the vehicle is acting up, because when we accelerate or sometimes even itself idle, it dies. So take a look at those signals. Okay, please. No, that's fine. Accelerate. Okay, we're gonna find out about description and operation of the distributor here for this Corvette. So here is a shape of the cap, and it's telling us how this, what cylinders and blah blah blah. Okay, right here is telling me about the description. Next to the water pump is under the water pump. This is the important part here about the distributor, how those two sensors works. And you say in the distributor also contain a signal disk in two optical camshaft position sensors that provide signal to the PCM for timing control. One sensor sends 360 equally spaced slot. Okay, it provides 720 signal per camshaft revolution. To provide 720 degree signal per camshaft revolution for high resolution control. The other optical sensor sent a disk slot of variable length, providing a low resolution signal that tells the PCM which spark plug is being fired. Okay, so then it provides 8, but there are different variable lengths, so these are not all the same. This is basically like the one at the video I have about um, Nissan Frontier. Same concept, same type of system, nothing different. It's optical. Little bit more high resolution signal, 360 pulses per 1 camshaft revolution, and low revolution, 8 pulses per 1 camshaft revolution. Okay, and they go from 0 to 5. The reference signal toggles between 0 and 5 volts and the camshaft turns, so it can be pull up or pull down. Okay, so go back here about how much the labor time to repair this one. 3.8 hours to replace that one. It was about 846 at the dealer. Okay, so gotta remove the water pump and a bunch of stuff to get there. That is the end of the diagnostic, I think. Finding out the problem, and I may not even do it, or I may. So now, let's go back to the wiring diagram. Okay, here we're gonna be analyzing deeper the capture, and then also learning a little bit more what we can do with this. Um, so right here we can see is when I started the vehicle. Zoom on it. Right here I just did the key on all the way to here. The blue trace, which is the one represent 36 pulses equal to 360 degrees. One crown rotation is usually about 5 volts. Right here, see 4.9. The red trace right now it was 6 point something. However, no, this is not my cursor for that one. Sorry. I mean this is the cursor for that one, for the red. Okay, about 5.1. However, I realized on the red trace is a pull up. At this point, when I did a key on, this one was staying over a notch or over one of the gaps, the red, because normally that one is staying down. When I go key on all the time, the blue, that one is for sure, uh, because I unplugged. When I unplugged the distributor, I found this one was 5 volts and this one was 0. So that means this one is gonna be a pull down every time it passes through the gap there, and this one is gonna be pull up every time it passes there. So right here, I crank the vehicle, and it was a little bit like a long crank. Right here, it's just got like a little long pulse right here. Okay, so there was a time when the vehicle wanted to stall. I don't know if it's on this capture, because I took like 3-4 captures. We heard that the engine stalled by itself. Okay, let me go to another capture here. 2, 4. You zoom out. So right here is when the vehicle stalled. Pay attention to this here. So as we can see here, both sensor fails. Guys, look at the red. Look at the red signal. So from here to here, how much we are producing that signal, the frequency here. So let me do something here. If we count here, in these little blocks inside from here to here, I got one empty spot, and I'm on the middle of this one too. So which means I should have one empty spot here, and I should have another one here, another one here, and another one here of the red trace. So I didn't have um, that signal, even though, as we can see, this one is the smaller, is coming even closer. Like the next one should have appeared like over here, but we should have more signals of this one because the engine is still cranking, rotating. This is at the moment when the vehicle was stalling, and as we can see here, this one, stay up. It didn't pull down, so we should have more frequency signals here. Okay, vehicle is still running. Go back like, and then at this point, the vehicle stay here and stalls right here when the vehicle stalls, the engine stall. Okay, so got that capture. Show this another capture here. Oh, this one was about the coil. I was checking here first the coils. What happened with the coil? I was wondering if the coil, because I saw a weak spark at the very beginning. So my question is the coil quitting or not producing enough spark, or the signal to the coil is weak and that's why the coil is not producing the spark? So that's why here I did two channels. Ignition control signal coming from the computer to the ignition module and the current ramp. I did a test idle while open throttle and engine stall. Okay, so we're gonna close this one and see it closer. Oh, let me see. Let me close that one back. And now I wanted to see something else here. See what happened on the first capture. I think this is just when we see something like that, it's just frequency changes. It's not a glitch. It's just speed changes, and that's what makes sometimes this thing to look like that. Right here, the vehicle almost stalled. Right here on this spot here. So look at what happened here. So what happened here is the vehicle almost stalling. So as we can see, let's zoom a little bit more on that area. So right here, we can see on this channel, it was producing me on the say number one, it was producing me about this channel 6.5 amps. You can see here, channel 1, I mean the cursor 1, cursor 2, it was about, on the red was about there, 4.7 amps. So that one is when it produces a weak spark. But as we can see here, the signal was a 5 volts, about 5 volts. The red or the blue, 4.3 volts. But what changed was the frequency. The pulse was shorter pulse. You can see here. So that one was making the coil a weak spark because we didn't give it enough dwell time to saturate the coil. And the coil is good. Here it looks like a kind of like a square because the way I'm zoomed, but we're gonna get the coil here and look, it's a ramp there. Pretty good, the ramp here. You can see here when the primary and secondary ignition induces the voltage each other right here. So my coil is in pretty good condition. See here how much time we energize that one. And look at it here, the differences here. So we can see a good difference here on the top. Look on the top here when it was working correctly. So the computer pretty much stopped right here. Right here on top, we can see right here on this area, we can see the computer limit about 3.7 millisecond, about 3.1 millisecond on top. So it limit the current because it's already created the right amount. From here to there is 6.6 millisecond is where that coil was saturated, the on time of that coil. However, the limit is here. We can see here because from here on the blue, we can see from here to here was applied the power to the coil. So saturating the coil right here, finish saturating the coil. But look at the previous capture here. We don't have that one on the top. See here? So right here, it wasn't enough time to saturate the coil. The coil should be saturated like over here to here, like over here. But there was not enough time to saturate the coil. So that is what's making produce a weak spark. And then my problem wasn't there. So I gotta go and find it, which we found it here. Um, So right here is when the vehicle stalled. Right here it was kind of the RPM was changing because it almost wanted to stall. But what else can we do with this data? We can do more than that. So we're gonna analyze something here. So can we count? We can check RPMs, and we can see on this here. Let's see. Okay, first we're gonna identify this. I want to show you something here. Red, bring it down. I zoom too much. Let me see here. Okay, so we can see these are skinny, 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 and skinny. Pretty much all of those are the same the same width. However, these are different. As we can see, this is one like a skinny, little bit more fat, 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 and I will repeat. So we're gonna get a point here. We're gonna be checking that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it repeats here. Okay. Let's see. Hit that one. Those rulers. I'll take it out here. Make that red a little bit smaller. Right there. So we can see a little bit more here. Details. Okay. So, see this one? We're gonna take this as identification, like, because this is a little skinny, fat, fatted, fatter, and then arrow repeats here. So then we're gonna get some cursor here, 360 degrees. I mean like 360 degrees. And it will repeat here. So I got 720, but this is not 720. Gonna write it 360. (360 degrees) there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cylinders. Okay. I'm gonna see what RPM we were here. Basically, we're here to here, to here. I think we end up here. Let's see here. I'm doing something wrong or what? It's not 400 RPM for sure. For see something. Get the cursor here. Get the second cursor here. Something is not matching here. My RPMs. I'm not a 400 RPM for sure, because I wasn't cranking here. I know that. Let me stop this and see, find out what's going on here. 316. Stop this for a little bit and find out what's going on. Well, here's something else I can really believe. I don't know what's going on with my scope. Some glitches there, but as we can see here, I got one cursor here, 4 degrees, when it was raising the signal here, and what it was going to repeat here. So this is one rotation of the distributor. So in this case, we can see right here the camshaft. Well, each of these red pulses represent one cylinder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cylinder. So let me see something else here. So basically from 0 to 360 is 360 degree, one full rotation of the camshaft per 2 rotation of the crankshaft. So we're gonna check where RPM we were here, that cursor here, and that cursor here, and I was at 752 RPM, 752 RPM, 752 RPMs. But we can do more with this. Like I'm gonna check, bring that cursor here, 4 degrees. I will just lock the one for the degrees and look at something here. So from here to here was, you know, for one cylinder, another cylinder, the repetition are almost the same, you know, like it just on the skinny, it went to the right on the falling edge. See? So this one, I don't know how to synchronize it, but on the instructions say each pulse will be different on each pulse will be different, like as we can see here. But I was looking at this, like I was explaining before, this one looks consistent. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The only difference I see is this: skinny, fat, fatter, and fat. So this is more like the Nissan I did. I just wanted to explain a little bit about this one because someone may wanted to know, how this works. Probably it's not the best explanation, but I explained a little bit to go a little bit more deeper, on analyzing the data. In this case, I was having this, I was expecting a plug catalytic converter on this vehicle, and well, this is different. It's not the same vehicle. I will make a video about in-cylinder pressure transducer. Some point was idle here to here, 2500 RPM here, release the throttle here, and wide open throttle. So right here, we were suspecting of a plug catalytic converter, but as we can see here, my pressure were like barely nothing, about 1.2 psi. Supposedly we should have less than 2 psi, but this vehicle was barely running when I accelerated, sound like a plug exhaust. So here it was 2500 RPM, where it's supposedly we can get more of those details about that one. And I just averaged that one here on the exhaust, and same thing, we can see 1.2 psi. I was focused on when the exhaust valve was open, from basically from over here to over here, to see how much pressure. We shouldn't have pressure there, because if the valve is open, which and the catalytic converter is not plugged, we should be creating no pressure there. It's a little bit back pressure, but it's barely nothing. And right here is when I did wide open throttle, so in the vehicle bogs there, like almost, you know, like no power at all on this vehicle, but it wasn't the problem. We can see we were building up here about what, about 200 psi of compression. But right here is the most important part. Right here, you can see we got pretty much 2 psi wide open throttle. So it's not a cause for this vehicle for have a lack of power. So we keep looking for that one. See, got no pressure, wide open throttle, pretty much nothing. Yeah, but I will explain this kind of stuff on another video I'm planning to do about in-cylinder pressure transducer. I have some case study there, some where I have used this one and we have found some problem, but first we gotta know what is good, what is bad. I'm gonna be touching that later.